Welcome to the Judgy Corner, where we dive into the wildest and most dramatic Am I the Asshole stories that'll have you picking sides. In today's video, we're breaking down a story that had me gasping. A wife who's been covering for her unemployed husband for 6 months, only to have him tell her she needs a boob job at family dinner. But honey, the comeback she served him? Chef's kiss. Absolutely brutal. What would you do if your jobless partner had the audacity to critique your body? Let us know in the comments below. Who do you think is the real asshole here? So there I was, standing in my in-laws' living room, when my unemployed husband of 6 months looked me dead in the eye and told me I needed a boob job. Y'all, I chose violence. If you're loving the drama already, smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Because honey, we're just getting started in the Judgy Corner. Drop a comment below with your hottest take before we dive in. Listen up, Judgy Corner fam, because I've got a story that'll make your jaw drop faster than my husband's employment status. And yes, before you ask, I'm about to spill all the tea. It's been exactly 6 months, 2 weeks, and 3 days since my darling husband Steve got the boot from his marketing job. Not that I'm counting or anything. Oh wait, I absolutely am, because guess who's been playing sugar mama while he's been finding himself on the couch? That's right, yours truly. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not heartless. I get it. Losing your job sucks harder than a Dyson on steroids. But here's the kicker. Steve hasn't told a soul in his family that he's unemployed. Not his mom, not his dad, not even his golden boy brother Jake, who thinks Steve walks on water and farts rainbows. Why? Because apparently, admitting you lost your job is more embarrassing than letting your wife work overtime at her nursing job to keep the lights on. Make it make sense, people. So there I am, pulling double shifts at the hospital, coming home to dirty dishes, and Steve networking, aka scrolling TikTok in his underwear, all while he's telling everyone he's between opportunities. Between opportunities? The only thing he's between is the couch cushions, looking for loose change. Fast forward to last weekend. Steve's mom calls and guilt trips us into coming over for Sunday dinner. You know the drill: pot roast, passive-aggressive comments about when we're having kids, and awkward small talk about everyone's exciting lives. I'm already dreading it because I know I'll have to sit there and smile while Steve pretends he's still climbing the corporate ladder instead of binge-watching The Office for the 47th time. But hey, free food is free food, and Mama's been living on ramen and whatever expired yogurt I can find in the back of our fridge. We show up, and immediately, I can tell it's going to be one of those dinners. You know what I'm talking about? The kind where everyone's trying to one-up each other with their latest achievements while I'm just hoping nobody asks too many questions about Steve's work. So we're sitting around the dinner table, and Jake, Steve's younger, more successful, definitely not unemployed brother, starts going on about his fiancée Madison. Now, Madison's sweet as pie, but Jake has this annoying habit of treating her like his personal trophy. So get this, Jake says, cutting into his pot roast like he's announcing he just discovered fire. Madison's getting a boob job next month. The whole table goes quiet. His mom nearly chokes on her green beans, and his dad suddenly becomes very interested in his mashed potatoes. But Jake's grinning like he just won the lottery. A boob job? Steve's mom gasps, clutching her pearls. But why? Madison's such a lovely girl. And here's where it gets interesting, folks. Steve, my unemployed, couch-surfing, TikTok-scrolling husband, decides this is the moment to become a feminist. Yeah? Why? He says, all indignant. Her boobs are already perfect. She doesn't need to change anything. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, maybe my husband isn't completely hopeless. Maybe he actually gets it. Oh, sweet summer child that I was. Because then, and I kid you not, this man turns to me, in front of his entire family, looks me up and down like I'm a used car he's considering buying, and says with the confidence of a man who hasn't contributed a dime to our household in half a year, you know what? Maybe you should get a boob job. You definitely need it more than Madison does. Y'all, the audacity, the sheer audacity of this man. The entire room went silent. And I mean silent, like you could hear a pin drop, a mouse fart, and probably Steve's last brain cell dying all at the same time. His mom's fork froze halfway to her mouth. His dad started coughing like he was choking on his own discomfort. Jake's sitting there with his mouth hanging open like a bass fish. And Madison? Poor Madison looked like she wanted to crawl under the table and disappear forever. But me? Oh, honey, I felt something snap inside me like a rubber band that's been stretched too far. 6 months of biting my tongue, 6 months of covering for this man, 6 months of working my ass off while he criticized my body from the couch. It all came rushing out in one beautiful, devastating moment. I stood up, slowly, dramatically, like I was in some kind of movie, and looked my husband dead in the eye. The whole room was holding its breath, waiting to see what I'd do. And then I smiled. Not a nice smile, not a sweet, wifely smile. The kind of smile that says, oh, you just fucked up and I'm about to end your whole career. Except, well, he didn't have a career to end now, did he? You know what, Steve? I said, my voice sweet as honey and twice as dangerous. I'll get a boob job the exact same day you get a real job. And since you've been unemployed for 6 months, I guess we'll both be waiting a while, won't we? The silence that followed was so thick you could cut it with a knife, serve it on a platter, and call it Sunday dinner. Steve's face went through about 17 different shades of red. His mom's eyes went wider than dinner plates. His dad suddenly became very interested in his beer. Jake's jaw was still on the floor, and Madison gave me a look that was pure admiration mixed with terror. Steve started sputtering like a broken sprinkler system. That's not what, honey? I interrupted, still smiling that dangerous smile. Not true? Because last I checked, unemployment benefits don't count as a real job, and neither does scrolling LinkedIn for 5 minutes a day before switching to TikTok. What happened next was beautiful, chaotic, and exactly what you'd expect from a family dinner gone nuclear. Steve's mom immediately went into damage control mode, trying to change the subject to literally anything else. More potatoes, anyone? How about that weather? Did anyone catch the game last night? But it was too late. The cat was out of the bag, the truth bomb had exploded, and the fallout was real. Jake, bless his heart, tried to lighten the mood with some joke about how women, am I right? Which earned him death glares from both Madison and me. His dad just kept drinking his beer and muttering something about young people these days. And Steve, poor Steve looked like he wanted to melt into the floorboards and disappear forever, which honestly would have been an improvement over his current contribution to our household. We left shortly after that, with Steve's mom pressing Tupperware containers of leftovers into my hands while whispering, "You're such a good wife, dear," which I'm pretty sure was her way of saying, "I'm sorry my son is a disaster. Please don't divorce him." The car ride home was awkward with a capital everything. Steve kept trying to start conversations that I shut down faster than a lemonade stand in a hurricane. Look, I didn't mean, nope. It's just that Jake was, try again. You know I think you're beautiful. Strike 3, buddy. Finally, he went nuclear. You embarrassed me in front of my whole family. And that's when I lost it. Really lost it. I embarrassed you? I pulled over to the side of the road because this conversation needed my full attention. Steve, I have been covering for you for 6 months. I've been telling everyone you're between jobs while I work doubles to keep us afloat. I've been making excuses for why you can't hang out, why you're always busy, and why you never pick up the check anymore. I have been protecting your precious ego while my back is breaking from carrying this relationship. He had the nerve to look shocked. I never asked you to do that. You didn't have to ask. That's what wives do. We support each other. But apparently, that support only goes one way because the second you get a chance, you throw me under the bus about my body in front of your family. By this point, I was ugly crying in my car on the side of Route 34. And honestly, it felt good, cathartic, like finally letting out a breath I'd been holding for months. So here we are, Judgy Corner family. It's been 3 days since boob job gate, and Steve's been sleeping on the couch, not by choice. I locked the bedroom door. He finally applied to 3 jobs yesterday, which is more progress than I've seen in months. But he's also giving me the silent treatment like I'm the villain in the story. His family's been blowing up his phone, which I find absolutely hilarious. Apparently, his mom wants to have a family meeting about communication and marriage. And Jake keeps texting him asking if Madison's boob job comment was out of line. But here's the thing, I don't feel bad. Not even a little bit. Because for 6 months, I've been the understanding wife, the supportive partner, the woman who never complains. And the one time I stand up for myself, suddenly I'm the problem? I mean, come on. If you're going to critique someone's body, maybe make sure you're not currently unemployed and living off their paycheck. Just a thought. So tell me, Judgy Corner, was I the asshole for serving my husband a reality check with his Sunday dinner? Or was it about time someone called him out on his BS? Let me know in the comments, because honestly, I'm still processing the whole thing, and I could use some validation. Or a reality check of my own.